And hello everybody, my name is Lucy and welcome to Books and Brushes. So today I am doing my Asian Readathon TBR and also just showing you all the Asian books I have on my shelf to choose between. So I've never actually done the Asian Readathon before, it's my first time, so it should be fun, and I got a bunch of Asian books to read, so why the heck not, eh? I don't want to waste any time jabbering about nothing, so let's just do the books. So what I'm going to do first is just show you all the Asian books I have to choose between just by doing a hold up and a read off of the author's name, and then we'll go into what books I've chosen and why. So let's just do this. Starfish by Kimi Dawn-Bowman, Girls of Paper and Fire by Natasha Nagun, Shadow of the Fox, Soul of the Sword, and Night of the Dragon by Julia Kagowa, Spin the Dawn by Elizabeth Lim, Reflection by Elizabeth Lim, A Very Large Expanse of Sea by Tahara Mafi, Shatter Me, Unravel Me, and Ignite Me by Tahara Mafi, and Restore Me by Tahara Mafi. This heaping stack, let me go through them. Legend, Prodigy, and Champion by Marie Lu, The Young Elites, The Rose Society, and The Midnight Star by Mary Lu, Batman Nightwalker by Mary Lu, and last but not least, Warcross by Mary Lu. That's a big Mary Lu stack. And I think that's every Asian book I own, like a book by an Asian author. I don't think there are any others, but sorry shelves if I missed any. I did go over them a couple of times trying to pick out all the Asian ones. So there's a lot of choice there. What am I going to pick for May? Now I could have obviously gone out and bought more books for the May Readathon to pick Asian specific books that I wanted to read. However, first of all, I feel like I should read some of the Asian books I already had before I went out and bought more Asian books specifically. I didn't really see a lot of point in that. And second of all, because of coronavirus, I'm kind of being careful. I'm not buying things just for the sake of it. I'm trying to be really select in what I buy. One, because I'm a broke ass bitch, and two, because I don't want to put people at unnecessary risk just to bring me books that I'm not even going to get a chance to read anytime soon. So I'm just kind of reading what I've got, and I've got plenty to work with. So let's pick my May TBR. First off, let's start with the book I've already started. That is Spin the Dawn by Elizabeth Lim. This book is like a really loose Mulan retelling where instead of Mulan going to fight in the war, there's this character who's a girl who has a bunch of brothers and she wants to be the best tailor there is, but she's a girl, so she's not allowed to be a tailor. But then she gets the opportunity and she decides to go, instead of her brother, to go and try out to be the emperor's tailor, which will get the family the money they need. She's the best tailor in the family, even though she's a girl, so she tries to hide the fact she's a girl and compete in this competition. Now, although it's not a war, there definitely is a war in this book, and there is life and death consequence if they find out she is a girl. So I'm really enjoying it. I've been intrigued with this one ever since I heard about it, and then I bought it, and I haven't had it for my shelves for very long. I love this cover. I think it's beautiful. I just really wanted to pick this one up. I had the urge for it, and I am really enjoying it. I'm about halfway. In fact, just more than halfway. I'm really close to the end, and it took a total turn that I wasn't expecting. But anyway, this isn't the review of Spin the Dawn. This is a TBR, so let's pretend I know nothing about what happens in this book yet. Like I said, it's a very loose retelling of Mulan. It's very inspired by rather than a retelling. I'm really enjoying the China-esque world it's set in. I say that because it's not set in China, it's set in a world that's very like China, China-inspired, but it is a fantasy world with new names of places and temples and all that jazz. I'm really glad I decided to pick this up for my first book. The next three books I plan to read in the month of May are the Shadow of the Fox trilogy. Oh, that was a fail. I'm just going to hold up Shadow of the Fox because holding up all three of them is a challenge that I'm not going to partake in. So I read Shadow of the Fox. I think it was like September, October, November, one of those. And I really loved this first book. I don't remember too many details about it now, but I remember enjoying it so much, and it ended on a cliffhanger, and I wanted the second book immediately, but I didn't have it. And that was that. I waited. We got to the point where Julia Kagowa just released the third book, Night of the Dragon. I picked up Soul of the Sword when it came out, knowing that I was not going to get around to reading it because I wanted to binge this series because that's what I like doing. I didn't want to have to read the first book, then wait, then reread the first book and the second book, then wait. No. So now that the third book is out, I have purchased it and I'm going to read the whole trilogy and I cannot wait. What's even more exciting though is that one of the reasons this book was one of the first ones on the top of this TBR is because I'm buddy reading it with my friend Matthew from the newly branded Matthew Reads and Writes. Matthew is a good friend of mine. He's been a massive support to me ever since he found me here on YouTube. We've been great internet friends over the past, I don't know how long it is now, talking back and forth, sending essay-like messages to each other on Twitter Messenger and on YouTube, and I love our in-depth discussions. We actually read another Asian book that I have here as a buddy read. That was our other buddy read that we've done, and that was Girls of Paper and Fire by Natasha Nagan. We read this one January? I think it was January, and we both really loved it, and I really loved talking to him about what was going on. When the rest of this series comes out, I cannot wait to binge it and hopefully get to buddy read the rest of them with Matthew. I'm sure we probably will. But until that comes out, I have the Shadow of the Fox trilogy to binge with Matthew. We're both in pretty much the same boat. We've both read the first one and we both want to binge the whole series, so we're at exactly the same pace. We're going to reread this one together so we get all caught up, and then we can read the other two in quick succession after and discuss the whole trilogy, and I can't wait. In case you don't know, Shadow of the Fox is about a kitsune girl who's like a girl fox creature who's like known for mischief, and she lives in this temple with like these monks, and she's never really been anywhere or allowed to do much. I can't remember exactly what happens. The temple burns to the ground or something, and she's set on this quest about this scroll. So she has possession of this scroll, but she has to go and do something with it. I really can't remember the details, and I don't want to, I just want to go into it blind again and reread it from the start. I know that she has to take this scroll somewhere and like destroy it or something, I can't remember. And then there's this other character who has like a magic sword, and he has to find the scroll and bring it back. And they're like, two characters meet and they're working on opposite sides, but they work together. And so she's like treacherous because she has the thing he wants and she's not telling him that she has it. And the two of them grow like this friendship between each other, and there's like other characters involved, and there's demons and there's magic and there's all sorts going on, and it's a brilliant series, and I've described it really, really badly. I'm just too excited, and like I said, it's been a long time since I read it. Didn't even bother reading the synopsis right there because who needs that when you've read this book like 2 years ago? I can't wait to read this series with Matthew and discuss all the things. I will link his channel down below. It's newly branded, he's back to YouTube, and I am so happy about him being back because IGTV just, I don't get on with it. This will be the very next thing I hope to pick up after Spin the Dawn. Although I'll have to discuss that with Matthew, but this is the very next thing I hope to read. So that's 4 books, Spin the Dawn and the Shadow of the Fox trilogy. 4 books is my average, although in April I did read 7 books. So I can go a little bit more overboard and pick a few backups in case I burn through those 4 in quick succession. I wish I had the other 2 books by Kimmy Dawn Bowman to read. There's Summerbird Blue and Harley in the Sky. I really, really want to read those 2 books, but I don't have them. And like I said, I'm probably not going to purchase them right now. I'm hankering for a bit of a Kimmy Dawn Bowman, and I have already read this book. I guess I could reread it. It's definitely a possibility. I wouldn't put it out there, but I really, really hope to get to our other 2. I really want to read those. We'll see if I hold out. Also, fun fact, for the Asian Readathon, which I found out about from Cindy Read with Cindy, I can't say that right now. She has got this big spreadsheet and she's invited everyone to help kind of manage it. There's like a whole team of people trying to manage this spreadsheet full of Asian authors, which I think is really cool. And I went through it and checked, and Kimmy Dawn Bowman was not on the list. So I submitted her name. She's a brilliant author and this is a brilliant book, and I submitted her name to be on the form. I haven't checked if it's on there or not. I should probably go back and check whether they put it on, but they probably did. So I feel privileged and honoured that I was able to put forth another name into the ring of an Asian author that I really, really loved. I felt proud of that. I think Reflection would be an interesting one to pick up because I'm reading the other book I have by Elizabeth Lim, Spin the Dawn. And this one is also a Mulan retelling. Apparently she's written 2. I only realised that when I had them both. So this is part of the Disney Twisted Tales collection. There's a bunch of Disney classics that they've kind of made novels about recently. You've probably seen them around. They're all like a twisted version of the classic tale. You know, what would happen if this? The tag for this one is what would happen if Mulan had to travel to the underworld, which is a completely new spin. The Spin the Dawn is obviously like a loose inspiration of Mulan, whereas in this is a retelling by the Disney group. So this one will probably be more closely related to Mulan. Should I read 2 Mulan-ish books, like one after the other? Is that wise? I don't know. They're both by the same author as well, which is really interesting. Like, she's done Mulan twice. I guess she really loves Mulan. I mean, I really love Mulan. She's my favourite Disney princess and one up there of one of my favourite, like, classic Disney movies. Because Mulan is just kick-ass. Don't fight me on it. So this is a possibility of a book I'll pick up, but I'm not sure. I'm still undecided on that. I've read all the Tara Murphy books, so I won't be picking up any of those. I've read Mary Lou's Legend trilogy, definitely won't pick up any of those. I've read Girls on Paper and Fire recently, so I won't pick up that. And I think that's all the books I want and will probably get to. So Spin the Dawn, the Shadow of the Fox trilogy, and possibly Reflection. If I do somehow get to all of those, which is unlikely guys, but if I do, then the only real thing that's not a reread that I've got left is these Mary Lou books. So I've got the Young Elite trilogy, this first book in the Warcross series, and Batman Begins. So one of those will be the books I pick up if I run out of all my others, because I don't really feel like rereading the other series and books I mentioned. And that is all my Asian books and all the Asian books I plan to read for the May Asian Readathon. While picking out all my Asian books, I was quite pleased that I had a good array. Like, I was going through all the authors and I had to double check some authors because I read an author name and I don't know if it's Asian. Like, I can get a clue sometimes by how it sounds, but obviously I don't know, maybe they're Asian and I can't quite tell from the name, so I had to go through a bunch of names of authors I have that I don't know anything about and check to see if they were Asian or not. But I've got a bunch that are more like kind of African or Southern American. I've got a bunch of American, I've got English, I've got a French one on here, I've got a German book, I've got a bunch of different nationalities on my shelf, which is really fun. I got an Italian one, so I got like a hallmark from most European countries. It's nice to have that array and that spread of nationalities and different inspirations for stories. I hope you enjoyed seeing all of my Asian books and seeing what I might read for the May Asian Readathon, and if you're participating, let me know in the comments what you're reading and which Asian author you're planning on picking up for the readathon. And also let me know of any Asian books you think that I should buy, like any ones you recommend. Like this video if you enjoyed it, and consider subscribing because it would make me so happy if you did. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!